Now, I'll assume you have your workbook ready. Let's talk about the 8-step framework to drive customer success and value realization. Step 1 is going to be discovery. Step 2 is pain. Step 3, solution. 4 is alignment. 5 is planning. 6, execution. 7, measurement. And 8, validation. So let's start with discovery. Discovery is probably some of the most important work that we can do because it really helps facilitate a strong understanding of who our customers are. Now, if you don't know who they are and how they drive revenue and how they run their business, it's going to be really difficult for you to connect your technology to their goals. So understanding who they are is going to be paramount. We want to spend enough time here understanding what that looks like. So some of the things that I like to do is really do a deep dive about my customers. So let's just say in the instance, you have a new customer who's coming out of the sales process and now they have just signed their contract. Congratulations, you have a new customer. One of the things that I do and I've advised my CSMs to do is actually go through and do discovery before they meet with the customer. This might involve things like going to their website, reading everything, going to G2, go read reviews. What are their customers saying about them? What do they love? What don't they love? Go to Crunchbase, go read things about their business. Go to Google the company. I'm telling you, for companies that have a lot of stuff going on in the press, maybe they just got a round of funding or maybe they have done some charitable work. So much stuff gets captured in the news. Make sure that you understand what's the most recent information, what's happening in their business. Go to LinkedIn. Go connect with all of the people that you'd be working with, all those primary contacts. This is a great way for you to see who they are, what do they value, what are they talking about, what's important to them. Now, I also, during this part, also encourage folks to do their due diligence and start to look at the competitive landscape and understand the market a bit as well. So this is where I might go look at G2, but now go look at competitive solutions and go see maybe who are the top players in the space if my specific customer is not one of those top players. I might also want to go and just understand a little bit about the industry that they work in. So if I'm supporting a customer who's in healthcare, I might want to go do a little bit more research around the industry in healthcare just so I understand more about it. Now, that research can be a lot, right? You can go to Google, you can go to industry communities, you can go to different websites and read about things. You can follow experts online and go read their blogs. You can go and read what people are saying on sites like, obviously, like community sites, but also things like Reddit and stuff. So basically, you want to gather as much relevant information as possible because this will ensure that when you get to the place of solutioning, you'll be able to tailor it to their specific kind of organization and industry and, more importantly, their needs. So I've given you 3 prompts here as part of discovery, things that you should ask yourself. And so I typically like to go through this when I'm doing this with my customers, which is, what does the customer do and how does their business provide value? This just helps me understand who they are, right? Why do they exist and how do they bring value to the industries that they serve? So how do their customers get value? How does the organization drive revenue? If you understand how your customer makes money, you'll have a stronger ability to understand the correlation between the work that you do and your ability to drive ROI. When you don't know how the company makes money, it's almost impossible for you to understand that correlation. And at the end of the day, yes, our customers have specific goals. Yes, they want to see certain value. But more importantly, if you can help drive their business forward, that's where the real ROI is. And that's where things don't get questioned long term. You can justify the partnership over time, and that's also going to help your growth strategy. So understand, how does the company make money? And then if you want to go the extra step, start to think about, well, how do they make money? And then what would be the correlation to how I could help them make money? The third prompt here is it clear how your business, product, and services can provide value to them? Now, this is where you think about, what does your technology do and why would they need a solution like yours? Now, obviously, at this point, you should have some context, whether this is a net new customer that just came out of sales or it's a customer that you've been working with for a bit. You should have that information, right? So is it clear how you can provide value to that customer? Now, these are the prompts that I would encourage you to go through. And so in your workbook, as you're thinking about maybe your first customer you want to work through this with, think about those prompts. Do you know what the customer does? Do you know how they provide value? Do you know how their organization drives revenue? And is it clear how your products and services can provide value to them? When you can start to answer those questions, you're going to start to have enough context to move on to the next step. Now, again, I told you we don't want to end here. This is where I do all that deep research. So if you have additional time to go and read and do a little extra digging, I highly encourage it, because again, the more you know, the more tailored your approach can be and the more valuable the engagement will be long term.